Today's video is probably the shortest video I have ever made. But I want to share with you a quick tip about making art for yourself in your home, an inexpensive alternative. So canvases can be very expensive, particularly the larger they get, the more expensive they are. They have a lot of, they use wood, the fabric costs, canvas costs, it just adds up. So the thing that I have done in the past, and I'm showing you today, is how to take a store-bought canvas that is on that uses the plastic weave, it's a faux weave canvas, and it's made out of plastic, and turn it into a canvas for your home. Now, I would probably not go as far as to sell that unless you really disclosed that you were making art on a canvas that is, and I have sold repurposed canvas. I have done that, but most of it has been on fabric canvas, not plastic canvas. But I think if you disclose that, there's no reason why you couldn't. And here's the thing. If you were a fine artist, you probably think, don't even listen to the rest of this. But if you're just a common everyday artist, or creative like me, and you want an inexpensive alternative for art that you're going to hang around your house that you are not worried about being archival or somehow lasting a million years or whatever, I would definitely give this a try, because I have done this for friends. I have done this for myself, and I will show you a few examples of some smaller pieces that I have up and I've had up for years. And because I put so many layers, you have no idea what the substrate is. So essentially what I'm saying is, if you want to make something for yourself in a little bit more inexpensive way, go check out your thrift store and see if you can find, or your house, you probably even have some hanging in your house. You could take it down and paint over the top of it. It's as simple as applying gesso. And I show you in like 2 seconds. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a fun way a way to not feel pressure or to feel precious about painting on a canvas, because it doesn't matter. And it should never matter, but I feel like sometimes we get something and we spend a lot of money on it and we feel like it should have this great result. Whereas if you're taking something that's fairly inexpensive, it doesn't really matter and it takes the pressure off, and you'll probably create something that you love. So anyway, I hope you give it a try, and without further ado, let's get started. I wanted to show you a couple of paintings that I've done on what I like to call repurposed canvas that is not actually the real canvas. It's like that plasticky canvas that had something on it. And this is just a portrait that I did, and there's a lot of texture to it, but you can see from the back, kind of what I did is I painted white gesso in here to kind of block out the image from coming through. And I painted it black around over the staples, which I wouldn't have needed to do. I mean, no one's going to look at the back for the most part, because I'm keeping it for myself. And you can see stickers from whatever the prior image was that was on here. So this is one that I've done, and I've probably did this, I don't know, 5 years ago, and it seems fine, Here's another one I did probably even longer ago. And it has tons of texture. It's just, I actually really like this one. Painted the sides black again. And then this one, I can't remember, but I obviously painted black gesso or black paint or something inside here. Maybe the image was coming through and I felt like I didn't like that, even though this was just for my own purposes. And I painted this black as well. And maybe there was some text or some writing on it. So anyway, I will say, this is not something that is, it can be guaranteed, it's not archival, but if you're gonna make something for your house, I mean, why not? And these have been ones that I have kept, plus I could paint over them and over them again, and it's a very inexpensive way to make art for your house if you do not want to spend money on a brand new canvas. So just something to consider. I could have probably brought 10 canvases over that I've painted on these what I call repurposed canvases, but I didn't want to take everything down and go hunt around the house because I have stuff hanging everywhere from all the years that I have been painting and making art. So here's today, the one I was going to do today that I just found that spurred this whole thing on. I was at the thrift store and this was like $1 and I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw this in and I should show everybody. And some of them have an image, they don't just have text. But I thought, oh, I should show you guys what I do when I repurpose a canvas. And anymore, I actually do work mostly on regular fabric canvas. I buy and they're new, but occasionally, if I have one, run across one, I will grab it and then paint something up. And so, just so you can see kind of what it looks like on all sides, and it is that, you know, plasticky. It's not fabric. So the way that I do it, I'm going to grab this music paper. The way that I would begin by prepping it is I would just take gesso. You could take any color, in fact, black if you wanted to really make sure that this didn't come through. But I know, knowing me, I will either paint or collage or do something over it. So, and I find that the black gesso tends to be a little more expensive. So, and I don't always start with that. So anyway, I'm just going to use white gesso today, and I'm just going to, you know, pour it right on here. So, and this preps the surface so that your paint, your collage, whatever you're doing, will adhere to it. It just kind of provides a gritty surface. And I will say, I've tried a lot of different gessos. I like the Liquitex the best. Now, golden is fine, and I'm sure there's some other good ones. I haven't tried every kind, but I've tried cheaper, off-brand, different ones. And I just always come back to the Liquitex because it's all of the kind of more professional grade. I think that's what it's called, professional grade. Yeah, it seems the most affordable. So that's just my own personal opinion. But I have used every gesso known to man. So there's no, okay, I should have got a little container out, shouldn't I? Okay, I'm just gonna put on my paintbrush, paint the edges. So it's as simple as that. You could do several coats. I'm not gonna show you this whole process. But from here, basically what I would do is I would then either start collaging or painting. And typically, as I did in this one, I'm gonna bring this back over. There's so many layers and so many marks and textures that eventually you won't see the underneath side, which you wouldn't see it anyway. But I'm a very texture person, but if you did watercolor on top of this, I'm not sure how that would work. You would have to probably put a watercolor ground down, and you would maybe wanna do multiple coats until you couldn't see the image or the text that's coming through. But I would highly recommend, if you're just making some art for around your house, you are not worried about it being completely archival or lasting for, you know, generations to come, and you just want to make some kind of cool thing, then I would highly recommend just taking an old piece of art like this from the, it's just a manufactured art that you take from the thrift store or second use or wherever and paint over the top of it. I've even done this for friends. I have a friend in California. When I go down there, she buys a canvas from the thrift store and then has me paint something on top of it. And hers have lasted just fine as well. But again, if you're really worried about something being archival and long lasting, this certainly, it's hard to know. Although I guess plastic might last forever. So there's that too. But anyway, this is a super quick, kind of what I want to even call a hack for today. If you're looking for an inexpensive way to put your art on a canvas and not invest a lot of money in an expensive canvas, because you can find all sizes, then I would highly recommend doing this. And I've had a great result with it. And so anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.